Here's your news for October 31st, 2019. We've got some news from Crown Jewel now, and some big news at that, as the WWE has confirmed that a women's division match will take place in Saudi Arabia for the first time ever. At a WWE press conference earlier today, the news broke that Natalya and Lacey Evans will face off in Riyadh, after the pair feuded over recent weeks, culminating in a last woman standing match on the October 7, 2019 edition of Raw. The announcement doesn't quite address all the issues many fans still have with WWE's partnership with the country, as the Saudi government, led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, still has an atrocious human rights record, which was rebuked earlier this year by the UN Human Rights Council. Regardless, the Natalya Evans match at Crown Jewel is still a big deal, and WWE's chief brand officer Stephanie McMahon was clearly pleased when she spoke to Bleacher Report's Jonathan Snowden about the news. When asked why Natalya and Evans were picked over current champions Becky Lynch and Bayley, or bigger stars like Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks, she said, "Natalya is somewhat of a legend in the women's division. She is the veteran. She's been here for so long, been a part of so many of the changes that have happened. When you consider her legacy and family history, it's pretty remarkable." You take Lacey Evans, who is fairly new on the scene, but who has not been shy about sharing her perspective on overcoming, especially in her life and the things she's been through. She has a young daughter, and she wants to set an example and pave the way not only for her daughter, but boys and girls all around the world. That's their personal stories. I can't think of better representatives for WWE. You can go on their social media. They've made some pretty awesome statements. Lacey Evans said, "I never thought I'd have the opportunities to do the things I've done with WWE. Tomorrow I get to show my little girl that hard work can bring you to history-making heights. I'm ready for this." As fans will remember, last year's Crown Jewel show was counterbalanced by Evolution, WWE's first all-women's event, though McMahon explained why they opted not to have another version in 2019. "We did consider it. A lot of our focus has been on having this particular match as part of this pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. More to come on Evolution, but it's most likely not going to happen in 2019. Later in the day, WWE.com caught up with the two history-making women who gave their own views on the match that'll happen today. Lacey Evans said, "I'm honored that I get to be a part of this history-making event. Honored that I get to perform in front of the WWE Universe in Saudi Arabia. To get to open doors that have never been opened before. I'm blown away. I'm honestly numb. I can't believe this is happening. I'm blessed to get to be here." Meanwhile, her foe Natalya described her own excitement, saying, "I don't even feel like it's really sunk in. For me, it's life-changing. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning when the news broke back in the States. I texted my mom like, 'I'm so sorry to wake you up, but I'm so excited.' My mom was so happy. To me, I can't believe that I'm getting to do this and I get to be a part of history. I'm so excited for our WWE fans in Saudi Arabia and around the world. For women around the world, it's transcending." Though this will be the first women's match in Saudi Arabia, this isn't the first bout of its kind, as Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks competed in Abu Dhabi in 2017. Due to the conservative ways there, the Boss and Little Miss Bliss wrestled in full bodysuits, and fans should expect the same for Natalya and the sassy Southern Belle instead of their regular wrestling attires. Another person who will be at Crown Jewel today is Ric Flair, who recently teased getting physical at the show. Speaking to Corey Graves on the Debut After the Bell podcast, Flair was joined by Triple H and Bayley and said he's been medically cleared. "That's a secret. I've been cleared. I've got a medical release, so never ever forget who the dirtiest player in the game is, man. I'll be equipped and ready, in the words of Pedro Morales, for any kind of action." It's clear that the two-time Hall of Famer is ready for a fight, but given his age and recent medical issues that both he and Hulk Hogan have, it's unlikely WWE will let him take a bump. With that said, both men teased getting physical a week ago on Monday Night Raw, and teased a fighter yesterday in Saudi Arabia when the Nature Boy was being interviewed by Byron Saxton. With his severe back issues and upcoming surgery, the chances of Hogan taking a bump tonight seems very slim, but that hasn't stopped the Hulkster from wanting one more match after the surgery. We don't know if Hogan will ever get cleared for that one last match, but after he miraculously returned in 2002 and became undisputed champion, anything is possible. We've got some news from WWE Backstage now, as Renee Young dropped a little teaser video on social media ahead of the show's official launch on November 5th at 11 p.m. Eastern on FS1. "We are at our final rehearsals as we are set to go live for real with WWE Backstage," Young said before revealing some guests they have lined up, as well as a huge guest yet to be announced. In the video, the Canadian commentators said they'll have a taped message from John Cena planned, and that Rob Gronkowski will be checking in as well, and confirmed that their first guest will be announced on tomorrow's SmackDown and will be a very big deal. Like many things in wrestling, this led to speculation that it'll be a return of CM Punk, and the rumors of his return were only strengthened recently when the former world champion was spotted with a Fox Sports microphone. This was followed by Samoa Joe walking behind Young and asking if she's gotten a new job on social media, leading to Renee getting offended and saying she hopes his pass gets revoked. The Wednesday Night Wars continued this week as NXT hosted a special Halloween edition of the show, which kicked off with a live musical performance by Poppy. Accompanying Io Shirai to the ring, the Japanese warrior was able to pick up another huge win, this time over Candice LeRae, but was thwarted in her attempted post-match beatdown by Rhea Ripley. A week after his shocking heel turn, it was next time for Finn Balor to explain his actions, as the first Universal Champion was met with a mixed reaction by the crowd. In a worked shoot, Balor spoke candidly about how he was treated on the main roster, and ended his speech with a declaration that he'll send Johnny Gargano back to the hospital. Shane Thorne took on Bronson Reed in a short match next, and despite an impressive showing by Thorne, it was Reed who got the win thanks to a huge splash from the top rope. Up next, fans got women's tag team title action, as Raw's Kabuki Warriors took on Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox with the gold on the line. Despite being heels, Asuka and Sane got a big welcome back chant from the crowd, but continued their villainous ways, including stomping on Nox's right hand. The challengers would fight back though, but after Asuka escaped Kai's fireman carry and hit the green mist, the titles were retained by the Kabuki Warriors. Post-match, Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir all ganged up on Nox, but once again it was Rhea Ripley who made the save, proving herself to be a babyface. A match between Tyler Bate and Cameron Grimes was up next, and while Bate looked to have the match won after a series of top rope elbows, this match would go to Grimes. He can't take all the credit for the win though, as the appearance of Killian Dane at ringside was able to distract Bate, allowing Grimes to hit the cave-in for the pin. The beatdown of the British star wouldn't end there though, as Dane would level Bate with a senton in the ring and a cannonball against the steel steps before saying, "Tell your friend that we have unfinished business," seemingly referring to Pete Dunne. After an announcement by Kelly that Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler will be the team captains for War Games, it was time for the main event, pitting Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish against Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. While the titles weren't on the line, Lee and Riddle had a lot to prove, but the match instead went to the Undisputed Era thanks to a distracted referee and a high-low on the King of Bros. After the match, the Undisputed Era once again attacked Lee, who was once again saved by a crutch-wielding Tommaso Ciampa, who downed O'Reilly. Telling the NXT title, "Goldie, you'll have to wait, Daddy's going to war," the Blackheart engaged in an intense stare-down with Adam Cole to end the show. Over on TNT, it was the latest edition of AEW Dynamite, as the company continued on the road to Full Gear, with an opening match between Adam Page and Sammy Guevara. Toppling the Inner Circle member with a buckshot lariat, the Hangman certainly looked dominant and promised even worse to Pac when they meet on pay-per-view. Next up, Hikari Shido defeated Shana via pinfall after a Shining Wizard, but what followed was a clear sign of disrespect by the Inner Circle. As the Rock and Roll Express appeared on the top of the ramp ahead of tonight's main event where they would crown the first AEW Tag Champions, the legendary team were attacked by Santana and Ortiz. In a gruesome sight, the duo powerbombed the 63-year-old Ricky Morton through the stage before the Young Bucks made the save. In six-man tag action, the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy defeated Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and QT Marshall in a match which included the popular cartoon Rick and Morty. Though no one in this match got swifty, Chucky T, Trent Beretta, and Cassidy did dress as characters from the show on this Halloween special. It was time to get serious next, as Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes met on the top of the ramp for their Full Gear World Title Match contract signing. Unlike almost every other contract signing ever, this didn't lead to a brawl between the two, but it was instead Dustin Rhodes who took the hit, being ambushed in the parking lot by Jake Hager. Kneeing Dustin in the groin, a reference to his recent MMA bout against Anthony Garrett, the fight ended with Rhodes' arm being slammed into the limousine door, as it seems the Inner Circle has the numbers advantage heading into Full Gear. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks defeated the Hybrid 2 and Kip Sabian next, as the Bucks wore Street Fighter costumes for the bout, while Omega chose to don a Sands from Undertale mask for his entrance. Post-match, the Bucks were celebrating with the fans, but were attacked by two wearing Rick and Morty masks, who revealed themselves to be Santana and Ortiz, who disappeared into the crowd. After Jon Moxley paradigm shifted the librarian Peter Avalon in the ring, the Lunatic revealed his Full Gear match against Omega is now unsanctioned in a truly epic promo by the former WWE Champion. With all this out of the way, it was time for the first AEW World Tag Team Champions to be crowned, as SCU were able to defeat the Lucha Bros to enter the history books. It was Sky who surprised Pentagon Jr. with a cradle pin, and while the finals were fantastic, this ending was very abrupt and didn't necessarily resonate well with the live crowd. Still, SCU are in the history books as the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions, and while both shows delivered an excellent product this week, with both AEW and NXT building to their upcoming pay-per-views, we have to give it to Dynamite this week thanks to its troublemaking storyline with the Inner Circle.